Know Your Candidate. Presented by Portland is Possible, broadcasted by XRAY FM.
In this segment, we offer a brief background on the visionary candidates that are proudly standing and running for Portland mayor. The new mayor position is different. They will provide the city administrator. That will be confirmed by the majority of the 12 members of the Portland Area City Council. Characteristics of the new mayor-council form of government: mayor is elected separately from the council, is often full-time and paid, with significant administrative authority. Depending on the municipal charter, the mayor could have weak or strong powers. Council is elected and maintains legislative powers.
My name is Carmen Rubio, and I am running for mayor of City of Portland.
What are the biggest impediments to Portland making progress on its environmental, economic, and cultural goals in the next decade?
I think we have a lot of things in play right now that present risks to us achieving those goals. I think that we certainly have climate, impacts of the climate change that we're grappling with in very real ways. It's happening more frequently and more often that we're experiencing extreme weather. That can literally shut down a city business for an entire day or week. Ice storms, flooding, fires, wildfires. So these are real things that actually impact, the course of business or school or life at home, livelihood, and general health. So these things are real existential issues. The other thing too is that even though we're here in Portland, Oregon, there are a lot of unknowns about what's happening in the world, and also, in our nation's capital.
Where do you see art institutions in 20 years? How are they different than today?
I see art institutions much more integrated into the economic, educational, and cultural ecosystem. I feel that in my short 3.5 years on council, that the way that our arts and culture sector is set up is very separate from how we talk about health, how we talk about the economy, how we talk about community safety and public safety. I feel like it's just as viable a sector, and it actually has tremendous economic impact. And also, we need to be paying artists more for what they do in this community. So I look forward to 20 years down the road when arts is thriving, when artists get paid a living wage for their work, and that it's more present and a part of our holistic upstream health as a community, and also health and wellness as a person.
How can Portland make its local economy more sustainable and regenerative?
To be more sustainable and regenerative, it really first takes political will. It takes alignment of values across multiple sectors to all be aligned and moving in a direction together. So we need the movement to rise not just from, a nice to have value, or some of us live this way, to really what is our community value? Then what do our electeds who represent our community value and vote on, and what do they vote on, and what do they invest in, and how does that turn into then suddenly a part of the economy and a part of what our 20-year plan for the city of Portland, for example. So it needs to be much more valued as something that is part of our planning, as part of how we will strategically operate in the future. And if we keep holding out as an ideal but unreachable, we're not going to get it done. We have to put, walk our talk and put our investments where our mouths are.
This region is one of the 10 most habitable, and therefore we should expect population growth. What is our responsibility to accommodate people who want to call Portland home?
Well, it's been reported recently that there's actually been egress from this area. So we're actually losing population in Portland. So I am welcoming to anyone that wants to move to Portland. I think that population growth is ultimately, if it's responsible and we have the resources to accommodate and we have the leadership to know how to manage that growth, I think that it's important for communities and for this city. That's where we're going to get innovation. It's where we're going to bring more diversity of perspective and background. It's where we're going to get more economic development and entrepreneurship. and our education system will be better. So I welcome that, and it's going to take, though, really great leadership to make really good decisions that are representative of the entire population.
100 years ago, Portland leaders established the Bull Run Reservoir to safekeep clean drinking water for future generations. What is one thing Portland should be doing now for future generations?
That's a very good question. We should be really investing in green infrastructure right now. We should be putting in safeguards for climate mitigation and also climate resiliency right now. That's the way that we're going to protect communities and also start to imbue in communities the value and practice around how to be more sustainable, how to regenerative, how to really manage your carbon footprint in this community. So those are things that I think are critical right now. We should have been doing them already. But those things like, shade equity across the city, planting more trees, more multimodal transportation so that we can start to make those changes now. And ultimately what I would like to see is also depaving certain areas or remediation of certain areas that are pavement or brownfields or polluted lands that are not being used or underused or underdeveloped. If we do those things now, we're setting up future generations who are having to take on a lot of the burden of our non-activity or our non-action on climate. That's the least that we can do.
Lightning round. Would you describe Portland as more grunge, more jazz, or more indie pop?
Wow. I would say more jazz.
What's a single word you would want to use to describe Portland in 30 years?
Vibrance.
What place in town that more people should know about?
I would say happy hour at Clyde's Prime Rib.
Should Portland offer a universal basic income for artists?
I like that concept. I'm interested and intrigued.
What's the last show or performance you saw?
Pink Martini.
So now you know your candidate, or a bit about them. We like to thank the visionary candidates, also like to especially thank all the volunteers and organizations that put this together. We couldn't do this without you. To look at each candidate, be a good Portland citizen, and to be a dashing and informed voter, listen to XRAY FM to learn about ballots and the new ranked choice voting system. And check out portlandpossible.org.